Greetings, Star Citizens, and welcome to Flight Deck. This is a weekly podcast about Star Citizen and other gamer culture topics. I'm your host, Linkstack MDK, and with me, as always, is Paper Thin.
Yo, yo!
Today's topics, we have the wonderful world of Star Citizen Episode 2, Fan Spotlight Community Choice FPS, Around the Verse Episode 37, the Aegis Vanguard Concept Sale, the Aegis Gladius Test Drive, Behind the Scenes Bug Hunting QA, and 10 for the Chairman Episode 58. So, a lot to get started with. Happy April 1st, 2015, everybody.
Woo!
So, Wonderful World of Star Citizen Episode 2. This one was 22 minutes and 20 seconds long. I know you didn't get a chance to watch this one, Paper, so I'll just go over it real quick. So first video they demoed was Captain Aderthor's Star Citizen Lego collection. So he's designed a lot of Lego building blocks, how to make a Hornet, for example, how to make an Avenger, M50, Gladiator, and then he's also got like the micro ships, like the micro Lego ships that they've got for like Star Wars, etc.
Yeah.
Looks cool. If I had the Lego pieces, I would totally try to build some of them because some of them looked really good, actually.
Did he probably laid out the Lego parts in their specific number, and you can order them. There are sites that'll let you order Lego pieces individually.
Yeah, and he was talking in the video segment they showed. They didn't show the individual parts, but he talked about how much it would cost to build each one approximately. So I assume that's what he was doing.
Probably.
Then he cut out from that to Disco Lando being Disco Lando and pretty much saying, "Oh yeah, best comment I got of the last video was my beard is too many colors." I'm like, "Aw, that's mean and hilarious at the same time."
That's pretty good, actually.
And then he, said a couple lines about how he's going to be selling out to corporate CIG crap because the show's moving over to the CIG, headquarters, and he's going to sell out and, watch cartoons all day and all this crap.
Hey. Good for him.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to sell out and watch cartoons all day too. Then they cut over to Combustible Props RSI spacesuit. He showed the build that he did of an RSI spacesuit and a bearing rifle. It took about 3 months of work. It looked really good, by the way. And when he took it to Australia, he got it signed by Chris and Aaron. So, that value skyrocketed on that build. It looks really good too. Like, it's high quality.
Very cool.
And then they did Go-To and Draugr go to PAX East. This was kind of a Star Citizen perspective of the fan going to PAX East and seeing it from their perspective and just the video of that. And they showed people getting the Star Citizen logo fake tattoos and they looked really sweet actually. It looked really cool. Yeah. And then Will did a dumb skit with Disco Lando where he's pretending to be not Will with a fake mustache, talking about how Will should really be doing this show because Will's the community manager and he's so much better and all this stuff. I'm just like, this is so stupid, but I get it.
Wow.
Yeah. Then they did a StarCast promo, which is a podcast like us. They had a pretty decent format, but it looked like they had way more people too. It wasn't just 2 people, it was 6. So, it was a bunch of different people that can talk, and then they also had people that were going out and interviewing and stuff like that too. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Their podcast is every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, so check them out. They also had The Base, which is another podcast, and they do it's not really a podcast, it's internet radio. So it's 24/7 radio, and they kind of dub themselves as the Star Citizen radio station. So they do giveaways, interviews with the various CIG members and stuff like that. So I was actually going to check them out when I got a chance because I've been looking for a decent 24/7 radio station. So
yeah, and if it's Star Citizen related, I'm in.
That hopefully if it's good enough, make that go in game. So you're flying through the black and you turn on your radio and it's the base.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Then, the dumb skit with Will continues after that, and, Disco Lando, and, oh, Will is way better, and he's handsome, etc., etc., Yeah. Then they looked at Board Gamer, who, specifically Board Gamers look at the new item system, like we talked about in our podcast. He kind of does more of a, this is everything. Here's some video of the holo table and like items switching out and how it's going to work. Yeah. So
Oh, okay.
another
So
podcast.
it's like in depth and has video along with it.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
we have Polymetronics Hygia mobile medical ship. This was actually on Reddit about a month ago. I think we actually talked about it, but not on the podcast. It's
Right.
really cool looking ship. It has like all these little repair drones that come out of it and all this stuff, and it like has docking port bays on the top, and like it's kind of a combination repair ship and medical frigate. You know?
Yep, I remember that now. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
it did
really
look really cool.
yeah. I kind of hope CIG picks up this ship because wow.
That
Yeah,
would be sweet.
yeah, but then we really wouldn't get a medical ship or a repair ship on their own. You'd just get this thing because it does both. So I don't know if they
Yeah.
will. Not that they shouldn't do both, though, right?
But you
It
said it
makes
was like
sense.
frigate size, which means it's a pretty large ship, right?
Well, it was like easily twice the size of the constellation you had docked next to it. So
Oh, okay. That's
easy.
not too huge then.
I don't know. It's not as big as an Idris. I'm
Yeah.
thinking it's like bigger than a. It's hard to judge, but I'd say it probably was bigger than a reclaimer.
Okay.
Yeah. So. And then they had Around the Verse, the animated series, where it doesn't really need to exist, but I'm glad it does. It's essentially Will and Sandy, but they make them cartoon form.
Oh my god.
It's like, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it, but I'm glad it exists. You know, I feel there's a place for stuff like that. So,
All right. Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
And that was The Wonderful World of Star Citizen Episode 2. So hopefully this keeps coming and we keep seeing more weird and odd fan content. So,
Okay with that.
yeah. Then let's cut to Fan Spotlight Community Choice FPS. So this was a little competition contest that they had going on with the fan community to design FPS centric stuff, or just anything related to FPS, put it in there. So we had Don K's VFLR, variable focus laser rifle. Essentially, it's a laser rifle that can be as accurate as a rifle, or it can like go all the way up to a shotgun blast. And I'm like, if you have that, why do you need any other gun?
Well, because I think it said that the shotgun blast was only like a temporary stun or something like that.
Okay.
Like if you hit them with the spread, it just stuns them briefly
Okay.
instead of actually doing damage. It was the concept. So that's not
Oh,
that bad, I feel like. I mean, it's still
It's
still pretty
broken.
versatile and powerful weapon.
Yeah, okay, that's way better than any of the other guns. Like, if it takes you like 10 seconds to switch between, then okay. But if it's like an instant, oh, switch, shoot, that's way too powerful.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah. Then they did Eris's Flashbang, which was a short story, which I didn't get a chance to read. But essentially, it's like a first-person shooter encounter between Eris and her group and supposedly other people. I don't know.
Yeah, it was all right.
Oh, did you read it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I didn't. I didn't think it was like groundbreaking.
It wasn't a compelling read.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's not to deter anybody from reading it. They might. I don't knock the person for trying. I wish I would have done something like that. So it just wasn't my cup of tea.
Here's the problem I feel when you and I ever try to write something is we're too perfectionist about it and we take like 20
Oh
revisions.
God.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I kind of liked taking a creative writing class in college because it forced me to have deadlines. So I just had to turn in whatever I had, regardless,
Yeah.
no matter how bad I thought it was.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
Well, and then we had Fallacy's P4SC, a poem about the kinship between a Marine and his bearing P4SC. So I
I
didn't
thought
read
that
the
was
poem.
actually kind of nice. Yeah,
Was
it
it?
was kind of yeah, it kind of reminded me of old like Wayfarer poems, you know, that kind of thing. I don't know. I thought this was actually like relatively clever. I don't know, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
All
Maybe I
right.
misread it. That's how it read to me, like old like 1600s, you know, explorer
I don't,
poem or something. I don't know.
I
how
don't know
to describe
anything
it.
about poetry, so I'll
Yeah,
take your word for it and just nod and smile politely.
there you go.
You can't see me smiling, but I'm smiling.
Yeah.
And then we had Ezra's Peacekeeper. It's a futuristic Colt revolver using plasma bullets, which it looked really cool actually, but I don't know, 6-shooter in the future, is it really? Yeah.
It's this was extremely Firefly influenced.
Oh, just a little.
Yeah.
New, 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 new.
Yeah, it looked good though. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it looked cool. That's all that matters, really. We don't care if it functions well, just that it looks.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, then we had Around the Verse episode 37. This one was a long one. Wow. 44 minutes and 33 seconds long. We started with the Empire Report. Good job. Keep that up.
Yay.
First story on there was the Synth World explosion. Station has a kilometer-long flames erupting from it, and what caused it. I'm assuming it was foul play. At least I'm hoping it was foul play.
Bad. Like that doesn't sound good. I don't think your station's doing well if it has kilometer-long flames erupting from it. Like I'm not.
You're no engineer.
I'm no engineer. I'm not an expert on these things, but it sounds bad.
Maybe it's like a natural process. It's supposed to shoot kilometer-long flames naturally.
Yeah, it was totally intentional. I mean,
yeah.
they're just making a really big Bunsen burner, like science.
Oh. Then we had the Sasse statesman dead. Governor Alverone, I believe it is pronounced, dead. Was foul play involved? So hopefully some of those like espionage, assassination type missions is what they're alluding to with that. Because I'm all for killing a governor, especially if I get paid for it.
Sorry, my cat just made a lot of noise. He knocked something over. I was like, what the crap?
Whoa!
Jeez, scared me. Anyway, yeah, I hope he got assassinated. Okay, I'm kidding.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that opens up interesting gameplay where you're the assassin, or you're the guy trying to hunt down and find the assassin, or you're the guy trying to protect the governor from being assassinated,
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. But maybe I'm overthinking it, and that's like a Star Citizen 3.0 expand,
Yeah, that could be.
Who knows? Then we had Scientifica honorarium winners, new research, blah blah blah. So cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like player research will go and affect in-world stuff.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Then we had the intro news portion, 1.1 released, massive changes, rack damage, Gladius, blah blah, fresh install. We talked about this all last week. Then the 1.1 manual, Retaliator brochure, all that we talked about last week as well. One cool thing they mentioned is they had to increase their servers because the game is too dang popular. So, booyah!
Yeah.
Downside though is anybody who's tried to like play multiplayer this week has noticed it's been an issue. So, yeah, I tried playing with my brother last night and we couldn't get in, and then we're like, oh screw it, let's just go play Diablo 3 or something.
Yeah.
They're talking about renaming the patches too because of all the controversy on the forums. 1.1a is what Ben has put forward, but
I still think they need to be at like point, 09 or something. The one in front of the decimal implies a
release game, yeah.
Exactly.
So it should be 0.1.1 or
Right.
They could just keep adding points.
Yeah, I don't care how they do it. It's just it is a little, it's just not the convention that we've seen in
too groundbreaking. Too groundbreaking. You can't do it.
This is like the first time where I'm like, I don't agree with what CIG's trying to do here.
It's too groundbreaking, man. No, back off. You can't.
Okay, so if this is 1.1, this is Star Citizen 1.1. What do we call the game when it actually releases? Like
Star Citizen 10.1.
Okay, well, all right, I can accept that, but they got to at least like make it known publicly that that's the plan, so people don't freak out. Because
people freaked out, yeah.
Right. The reason they're freaking out is because new people are going to look and be like, "Oh, the game's done. Now I can invest," and then they're going to be pissed when
they can't do anything
and then
except for combat, yeah.
Right, and then you're going to get a lot of whiners who come in and are like, "I invested.
I want my
in
money
this
back."
Game. Yeah.
Right.
So whatever.
Well, like, I was watching an interesting video talking about the investment of money in Star Citizen versus other games, and like a year subscription to Eve is like $100 or something like that, right?
Right.
And that's a subscription for a year, and you have to re-up it. Star Citizen is like $45 and was
To buy the
occasionally
game.
to buy the game and have it for life and no subscription.
Right.
So I'm okay being judged for purchasing stuff now. You know.
Right. I don't feel bad about it, like how much money I've spent on this game, because there's no way I'm not going to get that back in gameplay unless this game is just an absolute train wreck for some reason. I just don't see it happening.
And even then, I'm well enough off that I don't care. But still, yeah. But still, it's the principle. That sounded really, yeah.
That was great. That was such a like I am the 1% like moment.
Yeah. Moving on. Retaliator being hanger ready was also mentioned, and we've got 9 million videos of people walking around the Retaliators and like eye-gasming and blah blah blah.
Very cool shit.
Gladius is now flyable, and that was hilarious when she's like, "Oh yeah, the Gladius is now flyable," because Ben spaces out. She's like, "Ben, Ben." And he's like, "Oh yeah." Sorry. It's like he was not paying attention at all.
Yeah, we tried out the Gladius this weekend.
Yeah, and
on our stream.
We were fans.
People should check it out. Yeah,
the Gladius we are fans of. It is a really good ship. I really kind of want to buy one now.
I know.
And then they had the Star Citizen on Instagram, and then they did all these annoying, stupid filters to their video, which...
Oh, God.
Ugh.
I was messing around with our Instagram account the other day, like, when I was putting up, what did I put? I put a picture of my B-Wing up, my Lego B-Wing. And I was, like, going through all the filters, and I'm like, some of these are really dumb.
Some?
Like, some of them are okay. Like, they kind of just subtly adjust the picture, and that's okay. But, like, there's so many that just, like, you know, it's like, now this picture is green. It's like, well, I don't need that.
Unless it's St. Patty's Day and you're trying to cover up the fact you didn't wear green on St. Patty's Day.
Right, exactly.
And even then, it's still stupid. Yeah.
Yep, that's all I got on that. I hate Instagram.
I'm so glad you're dealing with that, not me. It's like, I couldn't even tell you where our Instagram is because it's such an annoyance. I'm sorry.
I need to post more crap on there.
Yeah.
I should post some screenshots or something. Anyway.
You should. I've got a lot of screenshots you could post, actually.
Yeah, I've got a few.
Yeah. Then we cut to Spectrum News. We start at Santa Monica, where they're talking about issues with the Aurora mount discrepancy and the hardpoint cleanup, and has incorrect values, blah, blah, blah. That's game fixed. So... Aurora seems to be the ship that always has something wrong with it every time they release something new, right?
Which is hilarious because it was like one of the very first ships in the game.
Yeah, that might be why it's got so much wrong with it all the time. Is
that's a good point.
All the stuff that's existing.
Yeah.
Then they had the concept stage, which they announced quite a few ships and made me go, "Oh, what's that? Oh, that's cool. What's that? What's that?" So we had the Endeavor, the Crucible, the Genesis Starliner. And pretty much all ships from like stretch goals are now in the pipeline for the most part. So
awesome,
cool. And the Constellation is being worked on and getting it flight ready. So, yay!
Yay!
But who cares? We want the Redeemer flight ready. So
no,
yes.
Shut your mouth.
No.
Shut your mouth.
Then we have Ilphonic, where their bugs are being fixed for FPS. Rendering issues fixed on Gold Horizon. Didn't know there were rendering issues, but glad they fixed it. And then they found a physics issue which had to deal with their collision bugs, and they fixed it, and that fixed about 30 to 40 outstanding bugs, so sweet. Yeah. Then their breathing system is being updated to make it better and more intuitive towards a natural feel. So, you know, we don't know what it's like, so we can't comment, you know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Then their zero-G ragdoll is not being used. Instead, they're basing everything now on physics, which sounds super cool and sweet. And
yeah,
Travis is trying to push the name for it to be the Articulated Entity Generated Impulse System, or AEGIS for short.
I thought this was really cool. This is probably one of the most interesting things to come out of the Spectrum News this week. And I thought it was really interesting that it was Chris's idea that they go this direction.
Well,
And,
he did build Wing Commander by himself, so
he did.
he is kind of intelligent.
He's a fairly intelligent guy.
Yeah.
Might be pretty smart, and this was a really good idea, and I thought this was really cool, and it makes a lot of sense compared to how they're doing the rest of the game, right? Like everything is physics based, and the rest of the
like
game not
bullets
art based.
Bullets have mass,
Yep.
bullets have speed. Yeah.
Everything. Yep. So this makes perfect sense.
It's gonna be so awesome.
Oh
We're gonna be testing these physics out. I feel.
God,
like,
yeah.
oh, let's see what happens when I throw a grenade here. What about here? Yeah. Let me shoot you in the calf. Yeah. We already learned from shooting each other in the groin that you die instantly in the. I'm so glad I got that video. Me shooting you in the groin and just watching your body just like collapse and on itself.
That was pretty funny.
So good. Then they cut to Austin, Texas, where Nyx is being worked on. It's the white box is finished, and that's Nyx is kind of that mining scum and villainy place that had the giant crater hole in it that they showed screenshots of. Apparently, the interior looks really cool because it's going to have like melting ice, mined out areas, rock, all this stuff. So
it basically sounds like Kessel, but not a prison.
Not a like. Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Sort of.
Yeah. I don't know, like, how deep it goes, too. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And then we had Terra as sounding like it's going to be freaking huge, because they're like, oh yeah, we're putting in monorails, we're putting in a spaceport. It's like, how big is this planet going to be?
It sounds like Disney World.
Yeah, it's like, next we're going to have the Magic Castle, and then there's going to be Hogwarts, and then Death Star. It's like, okay, we get it. It's a big place.
Space Mountain.
Space Mountain, double Space Mountain?
Yeah, double Space Mountain.
Yeah. And then they went to Foundry 42 in the UK. They were talking about the Argo, which is a new ship coming out, which has some design issues associated with it, where the cargo sits on the back of the ship. So thruster placement is kind of difficult, and landing gear on the ship's engines as well make it kind of hard for the ship to take off. So they got to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah, because wasn't it meant to like land on the Idris or something?
I don't even remember. It's been so long since it was mentioned. Like, I can't even tell you the last time the Argo was mentioned.
Yeah. I think they were having issues with it, like landing on some ship. I thought it was the Idris, and that's why they're going through all this stuff.
God,
but anyway.
Yeah, it'll be awesome to see when they finally have it out.
Yeah, I want to see some concept art. Come on.
Come on. The FPS weapons are being balanced, gameplay tweaks as they test them out. So, this weapon's too strong, this weapon's range is too good, that type of thing.
Right.
And, the way they test it out is by shooting each other a bunch, so I'm kind of jealous of that.
Yeah, seriously.
Then they're also working on Squadron 42 levels and the looting system. So they want looting to kind of be an immersive experience like everything else. They want you to still have kind of situational awareness while you like go over a body and like pat them down, that type of thing. So cool.
Which is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want it to be like, oh, I click a button and now there is a menu of stuff I can take, and then I move that menu of stuff over to my it makes no sense.
Yeah, that never gets old in MMOs.
Yeah, until you do loot all. Like, looting should be, oh, I only have so many pockets and I can't carry both. I need to choose now,
Exactly.
And that's why I'm going to have a backpack. As big a backpack as I can find.
Yes, absolutely. This will just be like a lot of like DayZ type games where you need to have huge backpacks so you can carry all your crap.
And all the crap you'll potentially find. Or you just need to leave it where it's lying and take the whole ship. I'm just saying.
True.
Do it that way. It makes it easier on you. When in doubt, just take over their ship.
That's acceptable as well.
Mm-hmm. Then we cut to Bug Smashers, which for no reason I'm telling you guys the time. It runs from 16:17 to 22:26. That said, I felt it was the best one I've seen so far. Like, it didn't annoy me as much as all the previous Bug Smashers that annoyed me.
There was one I liked better. The one with the buggy physics.
Oh yeah, where like you touched it and the buggy would like slowly move forward and rock up and down. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that one was really interesting, but that's because like I'm a physics nerd, and therefore I thought that was really interesting. This one was actually pretty good too, though.
Yeah,
I agree. I like this one actually.
like it wasn't that long, and the format was much better. And he had the idiocracy background of Terry Crews in a wig on
That
his.
was friggin' hilarious.
Yeah, that was awesome. I kind of want to put that on my work laptop background now, but I do like a
Nice.
lot of screen shares with the client, so like that's not necessarily a good thing to have as your
Yeah,
back.
you can't.
Yeah,
Yeah, then you can't do that.
yeah, but it's not offensive. It's just
No,
funny.
it's just strange.
Yeah, but hilarious. Some of them would appreciate it. Some of them probably not.
No.
Anyway, we had extra mass bug. Was the bug this week? It had two issues associated with it. Issue number one, due to the variants not specifying their mass, it was kind of causing the ships to autofill in that mass, and all these base densities would lead to just the ships having outrageous mass and throwing it all off. So that was not good because ships having mass when you deal with everything dealing with physics kind of skews how they play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second issue related to that was the shield proxies inside. They shouldn't have mass, but this was kind of overlooked, so the shield proxies had mass as well, which kind of throws off the center of mass for the ships and causes even more issues. So they fixed both of those, so your ships that felt sluggish before should now be flying better.
Yeah. I wonder if that was another issue with the 350.
350R, I wonder.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like that one, I think the issue was related to the thrusters not being loaded fully developed. Like they
That's
loaded
yeah.
damaged, and yeah.
Probably more true. Yeah.
That said, it was God, that was atrocious to try and fly when they
That's
made them free.
horrible.
Yeah, I'm so glad I don't own one because that was rough. Then they cut to MVP, which was Waltar, who did a CCU and upgrade system diagram. So for all the cross chassis upgrades that people want to do, you can click on it and it will show, okay, this chassis upgrades to that, and this chassis upgrades to that, and so forth. So that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, that was really nice.
And then the organization they highlighted was Grimm's Reapers. It's a vigilante group that runs around killing pirates. Yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah, go
Unless
for
I'm
it.
the
Bring it
pirate.
on. I'm a pirate. Bring it on.
Rawr.
Rawr.
Then we had the Vanguard discussion, which was super. Like, they need to do more discussions like this, I feel, around the verse.
Yep.
Like, I really appreciate it when they give us more in-depth info about, especially new stuff. So for anybody that hasn't been keeping track and drooling over the ship art on the website, the Vanguard is a deep space heavy fighter, which has pretty much been designed to hunt down Vandal and go over long distances. So with that, it carries large fuel tanks, so it can do multiple jumps. It can take a ton of damage and deal out a ton of damage. And the original inspiration, at least for Chris, was the P-38 Lightning from World War II, which I looked at. I don't really know a lot about this, but I know you're a nerd, so I'm going to leave it to you on what the P-38 Lightning was.
P-38 Lightning was a twin-engine fighter, fairly maneuverable. Had a massive, I believe it was a 30 millimeter gun in the middle of it, right in front of the cockpit. That wasn't, I mean, it wasn't a rapid fire, but it shot at a decent pace and could do it. It would just tear ships apart if you could hit with it. And it also had two smaller, I want to say 20 millimeter machine guns. It might have been bigger. I might be getting these sizes wrong. But basically, it had one big gun that shot kind of slow in the middle, and then two guns on the side that were machine guns. But it was a longer range fighter, fairly maneuverable actually. Fared extremely well in the war and was very useful.
Nice. And then they talked about a bit of the differences between the Hornet and this. Primarily, the difference is the long range. Your Hornets, you need a carrier to haul place to place, whereas this can go on its own.
Right.
They also talked about a bit of the inspiration for this was the B1 as well, with the folded wings, the tumbler from the Batmobile tumbler they had as an inspiration for like the kind of the hull look, and then they also had some Lamborghinis in there as well, just because, why not?
Yeah.
And overall, I'd say it looks really badass. If all those things combined into Voltron, I mean the Vanguard. So,
Yeah, it was a cool looking ship.
Oh, it looks really good. And since they have multiple ships for each manufacturer now, they kind of went in depth on how that makes it easier to design future ships for each of these lines. So, like the example they gave, the Aegis ships are military militia ships, so their materials are going to be stealthier looking, a little more combat oriented looking. Whereas your Anvil ships are more of a boxy, you know, ship produced in a factory look to them. So,
Right.
yeah, which you can totally see when you look at like the Hornet or the the Vanguard or the Gladius or the all their the Gladiator. They all
Yep.
look like that style. Um, and one of their goals they've been mentioning too is they want each manufacturer to kind of have that signature style and feel, and they want them to be modular for these ships, but they don't want Lego ships, which is I think a concern you and I had,
Yep.
where if you could just swap out every part, what's the point? Just give us a stock chassis and we'll add what we want to it then.
Right.
Um, but primarily they want to make things like weapons, shields, thrusters, engines, power plants, that type of things swappable, but the overall look of the ship should stay the same. And then, they also said it's by far the best ship we've made, which I'm like, oh, really?
Uh,
That's not going to trick me. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying
yeah, yeah. Stop trying to trick me. I know better.
it. Yep. Then from the Vanguard, we went to the Jake Ross interview. Jake Ross is an associate producer who's supervised by Jason Hutchins. He's kind of a project manager type where he handles scheduling, mediation, information gathering, that type of thing. He used to be an artist, and he kind of acts as like a go-between their artists and programmers to kind of like translate for both.
Yeah.
Thing he's looking forward to most is their upcoming architectural. So they've got some monument style designs that are in place at Terra, for example. And the thing he liked most is working with Mark, and that's because they get to make all these really cool planet side locations, so
Yeah.
yeah. They're trying to make the areas feel different due to the architectural styles that he mentioned. His favorite ship so far is the M50 because he likes the look of the sleekness and the speed. And he's most excited for the Herald because of the information runner aspect. He thinks that's a really cool gameplay mechanic. So,
Hooray.
there you go. Then our outro this week was talking about the Gladius Free Fly Week, which we mentioned. Which, yeah, it's if you have not tried it yet, try it. It's a really fun ship. Maneuverability is super high, but you can black out super easily because of that. So, yeah.
Still fun.
You were having trouble with the mouse, though.
Yeah, it's because only the nose gun is gimbaled and the wings weren't. It was really hard to like use it effectively. And this could just be because I suck with using a mouse. I don't really like
I've
it.
never been a fan of the mouse.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't like flying with mice either. So that was a little tough. And because like the sensitivity of the mouse is like so trying to think of the right word. Like I can change from like let's say a 0.3 sensitivity to a 0.6, you know? Like there's a big difference between those two with the Gladius because it's so maneuverable. Like at 0.3, yeah, I can aim a lot better, but I can't turn as much as I should be able to with it. And then at 0.6, I can turn on a dime, but I have a hard time keeping, my cursor where it needs to be to attack people. So I had a tough time with the mouse, and that again just could be I'm not that great of a mouse pilot. But I have ordered a joystick, and I'm going to try
Yay!
the Gladius again when the joystick comes in. So
You just picked up the same joystick I use, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's good enough. I
Yeah.
mean, it has everything you need.
hmm Well, and then the Vanguard sale they talked about as well. That Vanguard for the ship is 250. Comes with LTI. So, if you
Not
got
bad,
250 bucks lying around that you can throw at the game and you want the Vanguard, go nuts.
right?
They also mentioned GamesCon, CitizenCon tickets are upcoming for both of those. So keep an eye out. And then we also have their new corporate website, www.cloudimperiumgames.com, which apparently makes it make more sense for what they actually are. Because they said they built spaceships before, and they're like, no, we build a video game called Star Citizen. So
Right.
yeah. And then they did a sneak peek, which I was severely disappointed with this week, actually. Usually I'm a huge fan of their sneak peeks.
Yeah, they
Um,
tried to be funny instead of cool, because they did the whole Pokemon.
it's better to go cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I get it. It was kind of funny. Still,
Still,
come
yeah.
on,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Come on. Yeah. So let's cut to the Aegis Vanguard concept sale. Everything's coming up Aegis this week. There's just so much Aegis. So stats on the Aegis Vanguard, it's a length of 37 meters, beam of 39 meters, 25 meters if the wings are folded, height of 8.8 meters, it's 8.5 meters if the gear is down, 6.3 meters if it's folded. Maximum crew for this ship is going to be 2 persons. It comes with a survival pod, which who knows what the hell that means. I assume it's an escape pod, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has one size 4 APOC Death Ballistic Gatling gun, which the name alone makes it sound awesome.
Yeah.
4 size 2 Bearing M4A lasers. One man turret that has 2 size 2 ballistic repeaters on it, and then 8 size 2 missiles. So, in terms of weaponry, holy crap.
Yeah. It's pretty stacked.
Yeah, that's like, boom, dead, boom, dead. Like, I'd feel bad for anybody that comes against one of these and doesn't have a wingman to help him. So
Yeah. This gonna be a pretty strong, like, first pass at you ship. Like, the first pass this ship gets at you, you do not want to get hit by any of this.
yeah, I feel like even in a Hornet, you'd be severely, the Hornet's the ultimate dogfighter ship, but I feel like you'd need like 2 or 3 to take on this thing, given its weaponry.
Yeah, depends on how maneuverable it is and the situations that you bump into each other. But yeah,
Yeah, and
it's not
loadouts.
going to be easy for a Hornet to take this one-on-one.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow. All right. And then the Aegis Gladius test drive we mentioned about, we flew around in it, super maneuverable, good speed. I think it
Love
goes
it.
240. That's
Yeah,
pretty
240.
sick for a fighter. Just
It's
throwing
really
that out
fast.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they did the behind the scenes bug hunting QA. So this was them pretty much talking to their QA team about their roles, their backgrounds, uh, you know, some of the jokes and things that they do to make the developers cry. And they talked about various types of testing that they do: white box testing, black box, regression, exploratory test cases. Anybody who's done testing or QA is like, yeah, 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 we know. And then they talked about odd bugs that they find, which was the most entertaining portion. And then talking about the differences between working at CIG and other companies, and what some of the worst bugs they've gotten in their daily work. So it's an interesting read. And they all seem like a colorful cast of characters. So it sounds like a good place to work. Actually, I kind of wish I was there instead of at my job. So
Right?
just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Not that I hate my job, I just like that job more.
Yeah.
Then we have 10 for the Chairman, episode 58. This episode was 24 minutes and 50 seconds long. And it has Chris Roberts with a new haircut and wearing a Squadron 42 t-shirt. So I'm going to throw out this conspiracy theory I came up with. The only reason Chris is making this game is just so he can wear cool swag. That's it.
he's he's got the frickin'
He's like,
constellation model next to him, and
yeah,
he's
exactly.
got the mouse pads, and he's
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm folding up CIG, I'm done.
Yep.
Good.
He's like, I got all the swag. I don't care if this game's made $77 million. I'm done. I just wanted a cool T-shirt. I wanted a cool model for my desk.
I came, I saw, I got the T-shirt.
Yep, exactly.
Oh wow, that's arguably the most ridiculous conspiracy theory you've come up with yet, and you've come up with some pretty ridiculous ones.
Well, I'll keep trying.
Attaboy.
Anyway, so question number 1: joining in progress free flight games. So it sounds like they want to have that. They want to get a lobby system that will be more robust than the current one that they have. That new robust system version is the one that they want to use with the persistent universe. So
Right.
there you go. And yeah, I totally agree with this question because there are so many times where it's like, oh, I can join our game. Oh, you can't. You gotta wait.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it's good. They're looking into it.
Yep. Then the next question was about hangar parties and instancing. How many people can I fit in my hangar? Because I want to have a party and invite everybody in my org. Um, so with this, we kind of learned that the hangar and social module might be split up potentially. It's already being split from the FPS. We knew that.
Right.
Uh, and with that, we got a kind of an idea of what sizes they're thinking of going to. So it sounds like it's going to be at best a max of 32 players per instance, at least for now.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool. And no, your hangars won't instance. It won't be like 32 people and then a second instance of your hangar shows up and another 32. It's just you have one hangar and fits 32 people. So
Right. Yeah, it basically sounds like right. 32, and that's what they want to be the max for the FPS as well, you mentioned. So,
well, for now,
yeah, for now.
I'm hoping. So what I'm hoping too is we get to about 50 on 50.
Oh god, I know.
So like
So
that
fun.
that would be good because then you add NPCs and 50 people you could get a decent number of ships with
Yep.
that. So yeah. I would love to have 1,000 on 1,000, but I'm
Oh
being
my
realistic here.
god.
you know, it's no
Let's
way
wait
that's going
about
to
20
happen.
years.
Oh yeah. Well, at that point, it's going to be the terrible internet service that
Right.
holds us
That's
back.
bottlenecking you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then extra ammo for spare weapon size. So let's say you want to carry a size 2 weapon in a size 3 holster. Can you use the extra space to carry additional ammo? And I'm like, no, that's a stupid question. And then Chris was like, no, that's a stupid question.
You mean a
It's,
mount, not a holster. You mean like on ships,
yeah,
right?
no,
Okay.
well, on ships, and they also talk on like people because you're gonna have
Oh, did
sizes
they?
for armor. So
I thought they talked strictly about ships on this. I watched it a couple days ago, so okay. Interesting.
I think it's the same regardless because it's the same system between the two. And
Gotcha.
I'm like, no, you can't carry additional weapons or additional ammo just because you take a
Well,
smaller
right.
weapon.
What are you
That's
gonna do?
dumb.
Like glue the ammo onto the slot? Like,
Exactly. That would be terrible, and I would hate it if they did something like that.
yeah, it
So
sounded like he might be willing in the future to kind of toy with making them a little more flexible, but he didn't want to do that right away just because obviously that could break the game pretty
it
quick.
doesn't make sense anyway. Like
Right.
you would never do that in real life. You
You
just
always want the
wouldn't.
bigger gun. I mean, like just
Well, or you'd add additional magazine, and make the magazine better. But you wouldn't like downgrade the size of the gun to fit more ammo.
right.
Yeah. And then we had the Linux update because people are like, "Hey, can we play it on Linux?" And he's like, "Well, all the servers run on Linux, but the graphics driver doesn't, and we don't have OpenGL yet. So maybe we'll move to OpenGL next, and then it will work. But right now, no. Sorry."
Right. Well, this is a Crytek limitation where Crytek doesn't, support OpenGL.
Right, and they
So it's
want to
not
move away from
because,
Crytek eventually. So yeah.
well, yeah, they're just more and more just bastardizing Crytek into their own system. So it sounds like they have it in the pipeline, but it's not in the game right now and isn't planned in the immediate future.
Yep. And then we have larger ships and weapon class lost. So this is the QQ about, oh, now my ship only uses size 4 weapons, and I thought it was a size 5 and all this stuff. And it's like, don't pay attention to what it was previously, that you have the same ship that you always had in terms of size.
Right.
We've just reclassified it. So now type and size matter, and size doesn't mean the same thing size used to mean, and ships are not gimped, and the relative scale is still the same. So
Right. Just be
yeah.
patient, people.
No,
Wait to see what happens.
I'm going to make a forum post right now in all caps and cry about it. Cause blah blah blah.
Yeah, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
I know.
Don't give these people a false impression of me. There's a
You're the
lot of
worst.
stuff
You whine so much
I
on the
do.
forums.
Oh man,
So much.
I do. It's terrible. I totally don't make fun of people for their stupid posts either.
No, we never do that.
No, we never do that. Um, and then the next question was about heavy personal armor. So can you wear heavy armor and pilot a fighter and man stations on a ship and all this stuff? And essentially, no. If you're going to be piloting a fighter, at best you can wear light armor. You'll probably have to wear a flight suit. For the bigger ships, they might allow up to medium armor. It just kind of depends. And with heavy armor, you can't really sit down to pilot, so we're not going to let you wear that stuff.
Yeah, and on top of that, if you're wearing heavy armor when you're pulling high G's, guess what? It's gonna push more on your body. Like you don't want
Compressed.
that. That's kind of bad for you.
That would not feel good.
No,
Yeah.
this question, like, I actually got a little bad at this question because I was like, come on, like really, like I understand if maybe you're in like a big ship, then yeah, sure you should be able to wear heavier armor because it's not going to be pulling nearly as high a G's. But when you're in a fighter, you are pulling some serious G's in those things. And you do not want that heavy suit weighing down on you.
It would be like somebody trying to wear a stormtrooper suit in an X-wing. It'd just look ridiculous.
It'd look ridiculous.
You wouldn't be able to see anything.
It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah. You'd be like, oh man, I can't see. And then you try and shoot, and of course you miss because you're wearing a stormtrooper helmet. So, yeah.
That's,
That's the way it is, man. I'm just calling it like I see it.
it's true.
Yeah. Next question was about VR headsets. So are you guys putting your stock into a particular brand and committing to it, like VR platform, Oculus, Track R, blah blah blah? And he's like, no, we're not putting anyone ahead of the others. We want to do more support, if anything, and it's just we have more pressing stuff to work on than virtual reality. So it's like, yeah, we'd love to have it all, but pick and choose our battles here.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then physical grappling beam. Are we going to get one? And he's like, well, we could, but it's not at the moment, and the energy's just easier to do. So,
Yeah, we don't need it.
yeah. And I don't know. Maybe eventually it would be interesting to have like a grappling hook thing or something like that. But
Well,
I don't spend my days going, oh, you know what I'd really like to do right now is grappling hook.
I just feel like people have been watching too much like Batman. Like they're just like
Hey, take
they're
that
just like,
back. You can never watch too much Batman. That's impossible.
well,
I've literally spent a summer of my life watching Batman and
that
doing
doesn't
nothing else.
that doesn't surprise me at all.
You were there.
I probably was.
Actually,
Uh,
you weren't there because I was by myself watching Batman most of that
okay,
summer.
I was gonna say I don't remember an entire summer of you watching Batman.
Well,
I know you watch a lot of Batman.
I did watch a lot of Batman. Way too much
Yeah,
Batman.
yeah, but I mean, like, I'm not saying it's possible to watch too much Batman. Actually, I am saying that, but
Well,
like,
I'm going to strongly disagree.
you go right ahead.
All right.
But like, you see the Batman grappling hook stuff where he's like shooting around and doing stuff, and maybe even Spider-Man plays into this where he's like, the web slinging stuff. Maybe people are like want to do that in the game, and it's like, well, because like when they watch that video of the energy beam grappling hook, like you just get pulled in a straight line
Right.
where they want to be like swinging around and doing cool maneuvers and
The
stuff
thing is,
like that.
you're in 0G, you'd still be going in a straight line.
Right.
I
That's
hate to
just
break it to you people, but it's not like you have swing.
Right, right. The reason, yeah, exactly. There's this thing called gravity, and that's why Spider-Man, goes in these parabolic arcs while
And
he's
like a
swinging
pendulum.
around.
No. That's not why. It's because his web shooters are magic. That's why.
Well, they're a
You and
little
your
of that
you and
too,
your
but
silly physics.
I know. Sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. Anyway,
Well, I don't know. It looked cool, I'm sure, but like
it
then
would
you have
look
to
cool.
reel it in and all this. There's a lot of hassle with physical beams as
Right,
opposed to energy ones. I don't know if I'd want one.
right, exactly.
Yeah, and Batman would totally use an energy beam if he could. If like he could, he wouldn't have
Right.
these. Yeah, well maybe he would because he totally uses those all the time for like tying people up and crap like that too. So I don't know.
That's true. They are multi-purpose for Batman.
Yeah.
Point.
Anyway, the FPS damage mechanic they talked about a bit. It's going to be similar to the ship. They're doing shader work with the implementation, so you'll have bruises, cuts, bullet holes, stuff like that. That's coming with future patches, but it's not going to be in right away with FPS. So
Which was fine. Cool.
that's going to be awesome, though.
Yes.
Oh,
Hey, look, your arm's on the floor.
oh, dang it! Not another
Can't feel
one.
good.
Well, I need to get another cybernetic part. Darn it.
Wah wah.
Wah, wah. And then you have the multi-crew key cards. This was asking about access restrictions, stuff like that. He'd mentioned this previously, but
Yeah.
it's mentioned in a different enough way that I'll allow it.
Right? I was kind of like, I was like, we talked about this, like, sort of.
Oh,
But
we totally did.
okay, key cards. Okay, I get it. It's a physical item.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll allow it. That makes a little more sense because
yeah.
before they were just asking about
Access codes
basically,
and like rights, but not like
yeah,
actual physical items. It sounds like they are going to have key cards and stuff, which is cool.
that
That's
is cool. That
yeah.
actually makes sense. So
So good
I'll allow
question.
it. Good
We're
question.
allowing this question,
Yeah.
uh, and that goes with the ghost system that they've mentioned previously that the one guy designed for saying permissions, lights, actions, all that stuff inside the ships. So
Awesome.
yeah, lots of cool information. I am super hyped.
Super hyped.
I just want FPS to come out
I
though,
know.
frankly.
I
Like this
know. I
whole
want.
week I'm like FPS news, FPS news, FPS news.
I
Nothing.
think end of April at best is my personal projection right now.
It's killing me because we were supposed to have it by now. you know?
I know. And the reason I say that is because I'm going to be on vacation at the end of April.
Oh,
So
well
of
then
course
it's
I'm going to not be able
definitely,
to play
yeah,
it.
definitely
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
So
You'll be
whatever.
like, I'm gone. Aww. And it'll
Right.
just be me with like this gleeful smile and like shooting.
And you'll be like texting me.
You'll be like,
I'll be
guess
like,
what I did? And you'll be like,
shut
dang
up,
it,
shut up,
shut
shut
up.
up. I'm going to throw my phone at
I'll
the
be like,
wall.
electric shotgun's awesome, man. This is why. You're like, I don't care. Buried
I hate,
P4SC is so good. OP, OP.
I
Just got a
hate you.
killing streak. yeah,
Oh
all
my
this stuff.
god.
Yeah. I only say this because of
Ah.
experience. That's
Yeah,
exactly the
well,
type of things we
right.
say when we do this stuff. Yeah.
This is very true.
So you got any non-Star Citizen stuff you want to mention?
Um, no.
No.
I haven't played any new video games.
Hmm.
I haven't watched anything new really. I'm waiting on Interstellar to come in on Blu-ray. I actually haven't seen it
I
yet.
haven't seen
I
it yet
know.
either. I gotta watch it.
Oh man, we suck.
Yep.
So
We are failures when it comes
like
to the sci-fi movie of the year. Yeah.
I'm like I wanted to see it, so I was totally dead set on seeing it the day it came out in the theaters, but the tickets were already sold out
Oh my
in
God.
Madison,
Yeah.
so I couldn't see it. And I was like, crap. And then I didn't have another chance to see it while I was in theaters. Like, literally, I was so busy. Like, I was
Yeah.
busy every weekend, and I just didn't have the time to drive up because it's, an hour away from me. So I was like, I don't have time to go on a weekday.
Hmm.
So I just didn't get to see it in the theaters, and I wasn't going to watch it on, some crappy internet, site.
No, because that's unethical.
Really... Well, no, that's not why I care. I care because I want to see it in good quality.
Well, yeah, you want to see it in
So I
the
was like, I'm waiting for
Blu-ray
the Blu-ray,
IMAX. Yeah.
and I pre-ordered the Blu-ray, months ago, and now it's finally like gonna ship
Nice.
soon. So I'm like, yay!
There's
But
yeah. My excuse was I kind of forgot, and then
I kind of forgot.
I also don't like going to the movies by myself, which sucks. So
Ooh, yeah,
I don't like
that's
doing
not
that.
fun.
Yeah. So unless you go to like a Saturday matinee, and then it's awesome because they're super cheap and like there's hardly any like little kids making noises and junk like that.
Right.
So
I don't
enjoyable.
mind. Yeah, I don't mind going to a movie by myself if I know like no one's gonna be there. Then it's like whatever.
But
But
then
if there's
like
like a lot of people
then
there,
you're
it's
that
weird.
one dude who's like by
Yeah.
himself in like a room full
Right.
of other people, and it's awkward. Yeah, I totally get that.
Right. And there's like 2 seats left in the whole place. You take one of them, and then everybody's like, "Who is this weirdo? Like, why
Yep.
is he sitting next to me?"
Yep, exactly. I totally get you. So I had two things, and just because we've
Okay.
talked about Batman, they both happen to be Batman related.
Of course.
Of course. So there's recently DC has been doing like this really good animated movie push, with like a new Batman, new Justice League. It's all based on
Yeah.
like the new 52 stuff, right?
Okay.
So they've got the storyline involving Batman having sex with Talia al Ghul, and then them having a kid, but he doesn't know about it, and then he meets the kid like 10 years later.
Ooh.
Damian Wayne. So he becomes the new Robin, and the newest one that's coming out, I want to say April 15th on Blu-ray, it's a direct to Blu-ray, is Batman versus Robin, which I think is based on a comic book story where they kind of like fight and hash it out and all this stuff, and the trailer looks
Oh.
cool, so
That does sound good.
interesting for that. Second thing, Batman related, Mark Hamill was on last night's episode of The Flash as
Yes.
the Trickster.
I heard about that. Yeah.
And I saw an article today that said The Flash is now winning television
Is it that
because,
good?
well, I watched it because let's face it, it's The Flash, and
Well,
we know
yeah,
me.
yeah.
He's kind of doing an amalgamation of the Joker voice
Okay.
with like a Hannibal Lecter-esque vibe.
Really?
But like it's not the best I've seen. There was this movie he did like years ago, like during the Star Wars age time period, where he was like a psycho killer, and it was like really super
Yep.
creepy.
I
But I
remember
don't
that
remember
movie.
the name of the movie. But
I don't
like I,
either.
I felt he did a better psycho in that than he did in the Flash. That said, he still had the "I am your father" line and all this other
Yes,
stuff. That
I saw a
yeah,
GIF of that. That was that's
I
pretty
am your
funny.
father. It's like so like as soon as he said, I'm like, no, he didn't. No, come on. Like it was like the thing about the Flash show is it's so campy, but that's kind of like its charm, too, is
Yeah.
that it's that campy. And I'm like, that was even too campy for me. And I can put up with a lot of campiness, but that was too campy
Yeah.
even for
Okay.
me.
You,
So,
you can put up with way more campiness than I can.
oh,
So
I totally get into it because I just shut down the brain and I'm like, all right, let's do this. This is
let's do
great.
this.
I enjoy this thoroughly. This is awesome.
Nice. Nice.
So
Yeah. Well, yeah. I can't. I can't think of anything else. I was pretty busy last week, so
yeah.
get much in.
Well,
So yeah. Life.
life. there's too much going on, man.
I know. I
Yeah.
want things to calm down. That's gonna be a while.
Well, yeah, I want things to FPS and then calm down. That's what I want things to do.
Yes, I want both of those to happen at the same time. That would be ideal.
I want to have the FPS module release and then have a ton of free time all of a sudden to play said
Yes.
FPS module.
Yes. Let's make that happen.
So what I'm saying is I want to win the lottery so I can quit my job and do nothing but play Star Citizen all day.
That's more difficult.
Well, we should still make that happen. I
Think
probably
so,
would
number
need to
one.
buy a ticket for that to even be a remote possibility. 'Cause
Yeah.
right now my chances have gone from like 1 in 176 million to 0. So,
Yeah, it's hard when you're not playing. You got to play the game.
yeah, you gotta spend money to make money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Anyway,
that is,
I think we're done.
I think we're done too. Yeah. Well, that is it for this week's episode of the Flight Deck. We will catch you guys next week.
Peace.